Sorry, you don't need that Coke, do you?
All right, appreciate everybody coming. We'll open it up with an opening statement from Hunter Yurchek, and then we'll take questions from Coach Musick. Anybody that would like to hang around afterwards, introduce yourself to Coach Musick, or have any questions for Hunter, we'll do those all over here to the side. So, Hunter?
Thank you, Kyle, and good afternoon. Thank you guys for being here today as we officially introduce the 10th head basketball coach, women's basketball coach here at the University of Arkansas. Before I do that, I did want to say thank you to Coach Neighbors for his 8 years of service to our women's basketball program and his commitment to our department, this university, and our university community. Also wanted to thank Dorita Dawkins and Taylor McGillis and Kat Davenport for their help that they provided me during the search process, and then for the number of people that have assisted in the onboarding of Coach since that really began on Friday. So to all those people, too many to name, thank you for what you guys have done. And now let me officially welcome our 10th head women's basketball coach at the University of Arkansas, Kelsi Musick. Kelsi, welcome. Proud to have you leading our program, and also want to introduce her family here, her husband Josh, her stepdaughter Amariah, almost. Amariah. I'm close. I'm going to get it right by the end of the day, I promise you that. And then her boys, Titus and Maddox. You guys wave. Titus, Maddox, welcome. So in my 15 years as being an athletic director at 3 different institutions, I've gone through 12 or so head coaching searches, and they all take on a life of their own, and that life is further accented now at the advent of social media and how much social media has become involved in these coaching searches. And I spoke to multiple coaches, multiple informally and a few formally. And what I can tell you is that some wanted to be an Arkansas Razorback, some did not. Some embraced the challenge of building a nationally competitive program in the SEC, and some did not. Some were using this as an opportunity to leverage their current institutions, and some had a genuine interest in this job. And what I was looking for a coach who indeed wanted to be an Arkansas Razorback and understood what the challenge was to build a nationally competitive program in the Southeastern Conference. And I wanted a coach that embraced competing against the coaches in this conference, because the best coaches are in the Southeastern Conference, and they didn't need to shy away from that. I wanted a proven winner. I wanted a program builder. And I wanted a good person who was a great fit for our department and a great fit in our head coach's room. And I wanted a coach that still valued the student athlete and the student athlete experience in this ever-changing environment in college athletics. And I truly believe Kelsi checked all of those boxes and many more. She first came on my radar screen back in November of this season when she brought her Oral Roberts team here to Bud Walton Arena. And I watched how she coached with incredible energy and incredible passion. And her student athletes played the same way. And they walked out of here, I think they won by 18 to 20 points, and the game was really never close after the first quarter. Then she went on to Missouri back in December and beat a Missouri team at Missouri. In fact, I believe her 2 SEC wins would have put her 14th or 15th place in the SEC this year with those 2 wins. She went on to have a 24-8 record this season. 5 of those 8 losses are to teams that are currently playing still in the NCAA women's basketball tournament. They finished second in the Summit League regular season. They lost in the conference championship to 24th-ranked South Dakota State University, who's still playing. She led Oral Roberts to back-to-back 20-win seasons for the first time in 15 years. And prior to Oral Roberts, she built an incredible program in her 13 years at Southwest Oklahoma State, winning 259 career games, which makes her the all-time winningest coach there. And I think that's still the record, right? Correct. And including the 2018-19 season, where they went 35-1. Their only game that they lost, unfortunately, was the Division II National Championship game, a double overtime thriller. So indeed, she's a winner. I'm so excited that she agreed to come to the University of Arkansas to lead our women's basketball program, and I believe we have found a hidden gem and a rising star, and I look forward to working alongside her to build a nationally competitive women's basketball program. Here's what I know. I know I must be patient, I'm going to be patient, and our fans will have to be patient because this is not going to happen overnight. But I promise you, under Coach Musick's leadership, special days are ahead for our women's basketball program. So without further ado, I turn the microphone over to you, but first we have a little photo opportunity.
Oh, yes.
We good, Kyle?
Andy, you want to get one in the middle? I'm good. Good? Say we good?
All right. It's all you.
All right, raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. Please introduce yourself and your media outlet, as coach is trying to figure out who everybody is. Ethan?
Are we going to make her make an opening statement or anything, Kyle?
No, we're going to do easy for her.
All right.
Kelsi, Ethan Westerman, Whole Hog Sports. Welcome here. Can you just walk us through the entire hiring process, kind of how you landed here?
Obviously, conversations with Hunter, conversations with some other senior administration staff, and then just mainly those conversations, that interview process. It was pretty quick, to be brutally honest with you. But I think that they asked me all the questions that they needed, and they continue to ask me questions to make sure that I was the right fit.
What is kind of your vision for this program?
Obviously, to rebuild it. Obviously, there's some quality players that we currently have. Obviously, there's a huge part that requires the recruitment process. But, we want to lay the foundation. We want to have those strong pillars. We want it to be, faith, family, fearless. We want to be to our players to understand they're playing in the best conference in America and that they have to perform at the highest level and get back to those expectations. We want energy. We want effort. We want them to be able to take the floor, and player development is extremely important. The standards, the level of excellence, there's a lot of things that are going to go into it, but we have to lay the foundation, and it starts now.
Hunter said that he thinks you're a hidden gem, a rising star. Just what is the identity of a Kelsi Musick team?
Well, definitely a passion, a whole lot of energy and effort, but I run a high-octane offense, so the one other thing that we love to do is put points on the board. We're not going to play slow, we're going to play fast, we're going to get up and down and force the issue on the offensive end, and then you got to get back and you got to guard. But definitely that energy, that level of passion, and that effort, and to perform at the highest level. That's extremely important, but I'm definitely known for my high-octane offense, and that'll definitely be taking place here.
Yeah, Anthony Christensen, Whole Hog Sports. Just, you mentioned already having some quality players on this current team. Have you met with the team at this point, and what are you kind of looking for as you build your first roster at Arkansas?
We have had contact, but obviously it's spring break right now, so as far as an official team meeting, that will be taking place soon once we make sure everyone gets back on campus safely, and then we'll be doing individual meetings. But, as far as the current roster, I can't give extreme details about that right now because we haven't had those meetings. But as we move forward, there will be a lot of things taking place, and it will happen extremely quick.
Daniel Shee, Hogs on Sports Illustrated. Welcome, Coach. I guess last time you were here, you were on the opposite sideline. Just, what were your impressions of the program from afar, as you were at Oral Roberts?
A quality program. I mean, Arkansas Razorback basketball is extremely important. Everyone here is extremely passionate about the women's basketball program, and I think the fans are, and that's something we want to regain. We want to pack this. We want to pack Bud Walton, and we want to get people back in the stands to support our women's basketball team. And I think the product that we'll put on the floor is definitely going to attribute to that. I think that there's a lot of passion I noticed when I was here. I think there is quality. I think the administration is extremely supportive. And so moving forward, I think that there's the sky's the limit. We have a lot of potential to continue to move this program in the right direction.
And then Hunter mentioned in his statement, you kind of built Oral Roberts from the ground up. How are you looking to translate that maybe to here?
I did that at Southwestern Oklahoma State. I also did that at Oral Roberts. It starts with the foundation we lay with potentially our current roster and who we add. But this first season is about the foundation, having the right culture, having the right vision, having the intensity, the effort, the energy, the things that we need to lay the foundation for this program and continue to grow it. Will it happen overnight? No, but anything worth building has to be built the correct way, the right way, and extremely with a strong foundation in order to withstand the tests of time, in order to grow a program that will continue to grow over time and get better. And that's important as we move forward.
Jackson.
Jackson Fuller, Southwest Times Record. Welcome, Coach. You mentioned the fast-paced, dribble drive offense, high-octane stuff. Where does that come from? A coach, growing up playing, where does that philosophy stem from?
We initially learned it when I was at Fresno State, when I was coaching out there. A junior college coach actually kind of helped us implement it. We won our conference my last season there, and I was able to bring it to SWASU when I was the head coach in Weatherford. So that's where it initially started. Over time, I've definitely tweaked it, made it my own, put my own twist on it. Also kind of, twisted it to a certain extent as far as the players that I had, what was going to be best for that season. But some of the core values of the dribble drive haven't changed, but I've definitely tweaked it and made it my own over time, but that's where it initially originated from.
You and Hunter have talked a lot about the Arkansas program, and a happy day here for, the fans with your hiring. I'm just curious, from your perspective, moving up now as an SEC women's basketball coach, is how gratifying of a day and, experience has this been for you?
A blessing, a huge opportunity, but it's a blessing. Will it be a challenge? Absolutely. But I believe anything in life worth having is going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to be a lot of hard work. And you got to be able to push through those hard times to get to the other side, and that's something that I'm willing to do. But it is a blessing. It is an honor. And a huge opportunity, and I'm excited, and I'm just extremely grateful to Hunter for believing in me, for the staff for believing in me and supporting me as we move forward and make this change and establish the foundation for our future.
Dudley Dawson, Hogville.net. Obviously the landscape of college basketball has changed a little bit since you first started coaching. Talk about the way things go these days with the transfer portal, the NIL, and how important it is to kind of be at the forefront of those things.
It's absolutely important. I think there's some foundations that in women's college sports that haven't changed. They still want to be taken care of, and they still want to know that they're important, and they want to we value the person, the student athlete, the whole person. But at the same time, it has changed. The money portion of it, the portal, all of those things have changed, and it's ever changing. I think that's part of the learning curve and the growing for all of us that are still in coaching college basketball, that we have to continue to grow and move forward and make those adjustments and be willing to, like I said, stay on top of that learning curve. But it is extremely important right now.
Robin?
Hi, Robin Hearn, 5 News. Welcome, Coach. I know you've been in Fayetteville for a couple of days, but what do you think about the area? And obviously they love the Hogs here.
Yes, it's amazing so far. I haven't been able to be able to explore all of Fayetteville as much as I'd like yet, but that's definitely to come. I think there's a lot of things within the program that is first and foremost. I'll continue to, like I said, explore and learn, but I think it's a phenomenal place to raise a family. I also think the support and the love that they have for their Hogs is extremely important, and I think that that's a blessing when you have that many fans, that many supporters that truly are passionate about your university, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
And back, Courtney?
Yeah, hey, Courtney Mims, Pig Trail Nation. Welcome, Coach. Excited to have you here as well. You talked a little bit about what your plan is early on, but take us through kind of the next couple of weeks for you. Obviously, it's spring break, got to get those girls back on campus, but take us through kind of your plan the next couple of weeks.
Initially, it's also composing a staff, finalizing who will be a part of that as well. I think that establishing that is extremely important as we move forward in the recruitment process. Obviously, the portal opens. That's going to be something that's extremely at the forefront of a daily schedule that's important. Obviously, retaining some of the players from our current roster is extremely important. They are on spring break, but as soon as they come back, establishing those relationships, those meetings, and seeing where we're at in that process. So I think the first three things is definitely staff, portal, and our current team. And establishing those three things will allow us to move forward and figure out everything else.
Growing up in Oklahoma, do you have any memories of Arkansas Razorbacks, either women's basketball or just, athletics in general? I don't know how closely you paid attention, but just curious there.
To a certain extent, it's a touching state, so that's a nice thing. One thing I would say that I remember is, Wendy Willits played here. She is a phenomenal star from Fort Cobb, Oklahoma, and so I actually recruited one of her players who played for me from Shawnee, Oklahoma. So just that's definitely a connection that I have, and being able to speak with her about her love of Razorback athletics and with the women's basketball program, and just obviously just watching from afar and from a distance.
Yeah, what makes you confident making this leap to the SEC, from your past experiences?
I think the fact that I've been able to be successful building a program, because that's not easy. Some people can come in where it's already built, but when you're trying to build something, you're starting over, laying a foundation. That's definitely not an easy task. But I'm up for that challenge. But I think the support that we have from our administration, from Hunter, from everyone here on campus, but especially the support from the fans is going to be important as well. So I'm up for the challenge, but I think the confidence comes from the fact that I've been doing it. That's all I've done since I finished college. I've just been in college sports. So I think that experience, I think experience can be measured. It's not always maybe in the length of time, but you can have quality experiences measured in different ways. And I think that I have the quality experience to be able to make that jump. And like I said, it's going to involve some hard work, but I'm ready for the challenge.
You mentioned it was quick for you, but I'm just wondering what it was like for your family and how the whole process was for them.
I think they're still in a little bit of awe. They're still trying to figure it out. We were on spring break last week. I was still coaching in a game last week, so it's been a lot. They go back to school tomorrow, and they'll be telling their friends that they're about to be moving. So I know that that's hard, and it's an adjustment when you're young. But they've embraced it. They understand that this is a passion of mine, and it's a passion of theirs. They all love to play basketball. If I'm being brutally honest, we came back up here last night, and I don't think we left until about 10:30. So, they were up here with me, and they understand that that's part of the process, and it takes a team. And we're a team at home. We have a new team here and a new family, but I think they're excited. Probably a little bit nervous, but they're excited.
And then have any of the other coaches maybe reached out since you've been here on campus?
Absolutely. Some of those meetings will be taking place this week as we move forward in this process, is seeing how that landscape is going to be. Lacey Goldwire has committed to staying. That's something that we know moving forward. But those conversations and those meetings will be taking place this week as we move forward.
Speaking on other coaches like just John Calipari, any of those reached out to you?
Yes, it's been amazing. I haven't got to meet him in person because I've been obviously in my office this morning extremely busy, and I know he's preparing for a game, so he has extremely high priorities right now. But a lot of the coaches that are currently coaching here have reached out via text message. I haven't had the chance to get out on campus much. We just arrived yesterday, but everyone has been extremely great, just cordial, nice, reached out, and just I'm excited for the opportunity to meet everyone and be a part of this Razorback family.
Any more questions for Coach Musick? Coach, great job.
So you don't get in trouble, I'll do it for you. Will Reese, her representative, coach's agent, one of the best in the business. I didn't thank you. You didn't thank him, so we'll thank him together for making this process pretty easy.
I went right into questions. You should have asked me a question.
Appreciate you very much, Will, for how you did that.
Absolutely. I thank you, too.
Amariah. Did I get it right? Amariah. Okay, get it.
Can I say one thing before I end?
Sure you can.
I just want to thank my family. I want to thank Will for helping us with this process, for his family. They're very supportive. His daughter's here with him. And just my family. I know it's a quick process, and I'm very grateful for the fact that Will's been supportive, but especially my husband and my kids have been supportive in this transition, and it's life-changing. We're about to uproot a whole family and a life, and we're extremely excited for this opportunity to join this family here, and I'm grateful to them, and I definitely don't want to shy away from giving them that credit, so thank you.
And the Razorback to be next year, correct? Congratulations. Best decision you've ever made.
All right, now wrap up questions for Coach. If you've got questions for Hunter, he'll be hanging around. Please, if you're here, introduce yourself to Coach. Welcome her to the table.